Coming off consecutive winning days, I've got 4 more bets for you. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Jason Mattis with Winning Bets. Thanks for hanging out with me on Hump Day, that is. Good to have you along. Let's go ahead and recap yesterday. It was an awesome day for us. We went 2-1 with some profit. Missed the Astros game. You know what? That happens. Sometimes the games just don't go your way. But then we got the old Tigers over team total. They went way over 3.5. They got 12 runs. But then we got the sweetest bet of all to cash for us yesterday. We got that Tigers money line, which was a big, huge underdog cash. We ended up getting that at plus 178 is what I ended up getting it at, and that's what I tweeted you guys up last night. So don't you just love the feeling of an underdog? I mean, you get the huge profits. You get a win when you're going against the public. The public, is all on the Brewers, but you go with the Tigers on there, and it shows that your research pays off. Just love when a good underdog cash. So all in all, yesterday 2-1 and another 1.55 units. That brings our total to back-to-back winning days plus 2.43 units. Having a good week. Go ahead and like this video, guys. If you were part of yesterday's cash, and if you're flying high off yesterday's big, huge underdog cash, go ahead and like this video. I would be a little bit more excited than I am. Trust me, I am bursting with excitement on getting that Tigers cash. But my son is on the other side of this wall and he's napping, so can't get so loud. So you guys pump and shout and get excited for me, because man, I am. What a good cash that was. I was following the game like I always do on my game cast, and went 1-0, 2-0, 4-0, 6-0. Then the Brewers get one run. It's like, okay, they actually had the bases loaded in that. I think it was the 6th inning when they got that run. Yeah, it was the 6th inning. That's what it was. And I was like, uh-oh. But they did a bullpen change. My man came in and shut it down. And after that, I stopped watching the game because the Brewers, we've just talked about it. The Brewers' offense is just terrible. And I just couldn't see them scoring 5 more runs at minimum to force extra innings and then wake up to a 12-1 win. What a nice beatdown. All right. Let's continue our winning ways. Like I said, we're on fire this week. 2 days, 2 winning days. So let's continue that on into Wednesday. I've got 4 bets for you today. The first one is Mets and Orioles. Got Walker on the mound for the Mets. ERA over 7. WHIP over 1.7. Opponent's batting average of 324. He'll be opposed by Means on the bump for the Orioles. ERA over 8.5. Ugh. That is terrible. WHIP at about 1.3. Opponent's batting average 271. My man's given up 6 home runs in 14 innings pitched. We know neither of these bullpens are in the top 10 or the bottom 10. I share the bullpen data with you guys and the hitting data. And neither of the bullpen, like I said, is in the top 10 or bottom 10. Batting average, Mets are 4th, Orioles are 6th. Or on-base percentage, Mets are 2nd, Orioles are 15th. So you've got 2 pretty good offenses going at it here against some really terrible pitching, at least from the starting pitching perspective. And then you've got just a bunch of average bullpens going at it. We're going to earmark this game for a second, and let's talk about the White Sox and the Twins. Lopez on the mound for the White Sox, ERA at 9, WHIP at 2. Opponent's batting average is 313. Whew. And he's already been rocked this season once by the Twins. He's opposed by Barrios on the mound for the Twins. This guy is not the stud he was a couple seasons back. ERA at 4.7, WHIP at 1.4, opponent's batting average at 257. And he himself, like Lopez, he was rocked earlier this season by the White Sox. Again, neither of these bullpens in the top 10 or the bottom 10, so just kind of average bullpens. Definitely, I think the White Sox are certainly the better of the 2 bullpens. Batting average, we know, from a batting perspective, the White Sox are, one of the top teams in batting, but the Twins are right there behind them. They're 10th in home runs, 19th in batting average. So just a good hitting team. We know they've got a lot of guys that can, hit for power on that team with Sano and Cruz as well. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to take each of these games, tease the over down to 7.5, and that parlay will come in at plus 101. So do Mets, Orioles, tease the over to 7.5. White Sox, Twins, tease the over down to 7.5, parlay those suckers together, and you got a bet at plus 101. All right, next bet we want to look at here is the Tigers and Brewers. We don't need to dwell on this too much. We already talked about the Tigers hitting advantage yesterday. So let's talk about the Brewers starting pitcher. He's got Hauser on the mound. Not really all that good. An ERA at 4.3, a WHIP at 1.3, an opponent's batting average at 282. We do know the Brewers have a near top 10 bullpen. They're not quite in the top 10, but they've got a pretty good bullpen. I know I said yesterday that we were probably going to take the money line on both of these days. Starting pitching definitely favors the Tigers. So if you feel inclined, if you want to take another underdog bet, I think when I was getting on here to do the show, they were at plus 140. So again, they're still the underdog like I predicted they would be. The public's all over the Brewers, even though the Tigers are the better team. I'm going to back off of the money line, and I'm just going to do Tigers team total over 3.5 coming in at minus 20. They should definitely be able to get to Hauser, and as long as we don't face Hader late in the game, I think they'll at least, if they need to get one more run against that Brewers bullpen, they can at least manage one more run. So Tigers team total over 3.5 at minus 120. If you end up taking that money line, I'm not going to be mad at you because from a starting pitching advantage with Turnbull on the mound, the Tigers definitely have the advantage. All right, next matchup, let's look at Blue Jays versus Marlins. We got Ruiz versus Sanchez on the mound. Not a huge difference between number-wise. They're both having a pretty decent season. Ruiz is more established, obviously, with Sanchez, making his season debut in 2020. So I'd like to, that Ruiz is a little more established. We know from the data that I showed, or from the bullpen data that I showed you guys, Blue Jays are almost a top 10 bullpen, but we know the Marlins are a bottom 10 bullpen. So obviously the bullpen favors the favors the Blue Jays in this matchup. Marlins got the win last night, so they used their top arms last night. Really not a lot of pitches. I think I saw the most bullpen guy only had about 9 pitches. They used, one guy had 9, I think it was 9, 8, and 7 actually, but they were used, so the Blue Jays have seen them, where the Blue Jays have that top bullpen and their guys are up and ready to go. Offense wise, Blue Jays are better, but I mean, admittedly, it's only slightly better, but it is a better offense, so it aids the Blue Jays. I just like the Blue Jays here in the bounce back. I like Rui. Obviously, I like their bullpen. They have a good offense. They made some trades there at the deadline to, shore up the team and inject some energy and belief into that team. So I like the Blue Jays on the bounce back. I'm taking that run line at plus 140. I think at plus 140, you're getting a lot of good value there on the Blue Jays on the bounce back. All right, guys, one more bet for you here. Let's look at the Padres versus the Angels. We know the Padres offense is better in every stat. I share it with you guys. I looked it up again this morning, ran my script. The Padres are better in every aspect in terms of the Angels offense. Starting pitching favors the Padres here. They've got Lamet on the mound. He's pitching like an ace, and he's pitching like he wants to actually compete for a Cy Young, so huge advantage in terms of starting pitching here. Bullpen, while the Padres bullpen numbers aren't as great. I mean, the Angels' bullpen numbers aren't great either. The Padres at least made changes, at the deadline. They brought in Rosenthal from the Royals, so they, improved that bullpen. And it was an off day yesterday, so all their good arms are up. So the bullpen, I guess what I'm saying is the bullpen's not a huge advantage, but at least the Padres have injected some new arms into that, and they brought in some talent. So I expect the Padres bullpen to be improving. So again, let's earmark that game. We want to look at Diamondbacks versus Dodgers. Again, much like the Padres, the Dodgers offense is better in every stat compared to the Diamondbacks. Starting pitching is probably a wash here. No real huge advantage in that matchup. The track between the current seasons and the track numbers, just no real big discrepancy here in starting pitching. The Diamondbacks, though, we know from Monday's episode that they're a bottom 10 bullpen. We also, like we talked about yesterday when we recapped the trade deadline, they traded their closer, so everybody moves up a roll. So a bullpen that's already bottom 10 figures to get a little bit worse. The Dodgers, they have a near top bullpen. We already know that. So I'm going to parlay the Padres and the Dodgers. And let me see if, for whatever reason, the Dodgers odds weren't up by the time I was doing all my research. Let me see if I can give you a value or a line here for this pick. The Dodgers and Padres will be an official play, and it'll just be, oh yeah, cool, the lines are up. So let's see. So this parlay will come in at plus 131. So Dodgers got their lines out there now on the website. So what does it say, plus 131? Yeah, plus 131. All right, so that's what we'll do. All right, so let's recap here. We're going Mets and Orioles, Twins and White Sox. Tease both of those overs down to 7.5. That parlay comes in at plus 101. Tigers team total over 3.5 at minus 120. Blue Jays are all going to be on the bounce back, taking them on the run line at plus 140. Then let's do a Padres-Dodgers parlay at plus 131. All right, guys, if you didn't like the video to start this show, because unfortunately you sat out and you weren't part of yesterday's big cash, big profits, go ahead. There's 4 bets. If you're going to be following me on one of these 4 bets, go ahead and like this video. Drop a comment in there. Let me know which of those 4, or if maybe all 4 you're going to be following. As you guys, we've talked about it here on the show, I'm always open and transparent. We did struggle for 2 weeks, but we've come out 2 positive days. Get on board. Today's going to be another successful day. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. I'm Jason Mattis.
Thanks for watching this episode of Winning Bets. I'm Jason Mattis. I'll see you again when we are celebrating the wins and making more winning bets. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more winning bets.